Hey folks, Daily Lands blog for the 14th of January. I think something just came flying out of my mouth. Did you see that, Case?
I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know what? That's who I am. Daily Lands blog for the 14th of January, 2021. I think there's not a day that's gone by in the last, I don't know how many years, where I haven't at least thought about the stigma around mental health and probably spoken about it. That word I probably used more than almost any other word when it comes to this whole area, the stigma. And got a response to yesterday's Daily Lands blog from one tough mudder. Yeah, I kind of like that. For me, stigmatizing myself did more damage than that of others. I think that really sums up one of the most important lessons that we can learn about the stigma, because it was always about, how do people see us? But I always wondered, why am I kind of insulated from the stigma? Why has it never really affected me? And I think the answer is that I never felt like I was weak. I never felt like the stigma affected me. As a matter of fact, I never thought about it for the first, 8-9 years of suffering from depression. I never once thought, I'm ashamed or I'm embarrassed. So you can't control what other people think, obviously, but you can control how you convey to them the message of your illness. And if you work on yourself, if you teach yourself that the stigma is not real, if you, and this is the part of your brain that if you just have a tiny, tiny little bit of your non-sick brain, which would be, what's the word for non-sick? Healthy! Yes, I just was checking to make sure that you were following along with me. If you use that tiny bit of your healthy brain to tell the other part of your brain that is sick, that is telling you that you are weak, that is telling you that, you should be ashamed, if you use that part, because it's so obvious to people that don't have active depression, if you've been through it, that this is not a weakness, that you are not self-inflicting this. If you use that little bit of your brain that's still okay to tell the other part of your brain that, you know what, I am not weak, I am not embarrassed, I am not ashamed, I do not believe the stigma. If you use that part of your brain that still can rationalize, and it gets really small, make no mistake about it, but there is something there for you to use. I believe that for most of us. SickNotWeak.com, 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. You know why we're here, Case?
Why?
We're here because I want you to know, and I want you to work on yourself. Nobody else counts in this dimension, just you. And you need to believe that you are not to blame for this illness. And the other reason is, are you going to ask me about the hat?
Covering up the swoop?
Well, I've been beaten up the last couple of days, Case. I'm not saying that you're wrong in giving me bad marks on the swoop. Like, make no mistake, this isn't me saying, you judged me unfairly. I just don't have a lot of confidence right now. And I felt like, I had to cover it up. Tomorrow.